welcome. It's Thursday night. Welcome to the Cantina Happy Hour. Pull up a stool, grab yourself a drink, and let's talk about some Star Wars. I am your host, David. With me, as always, are my co-hosts, Debbie. Debbie, how are you this evening?
All right.
Cool. Just all right?
Dealing with Chewie,
Yeah.
making her appearance.
Get it out of the way. That's good. Also with us tonight is Cam. Cam, how are you this evening?
I am all right. How are you guys?
Good. Happy anniversary. I don't have a it's my anniversary song. I only got the birthday one.
That's all right.
We could all sing.
I'll forgive you this time, but next year I expect one.
All right. Okay, fine. Also with us tonight is Andrew. Andrew, how are you this evening?
I'm doing all right.
Andrew
Still getting over some sickness, so if I
and he's back in his original surroundings.
Back in my room, so that's nice.
Your mother sent you to your room.
She did. Yep.
Awesome. Well, we've had some interesting stuff happen this weekend. The first thing I want to bring up, and Debbie, I know it takes a lot to get you out of your house, but I think I found something that's going to get you out. This year is the 20th anniversary for Revenge of the Sith, and if I'm not mistaken, they are re-releasing said movie to theaters. I think April 25th is the release date, or the re-release date. The anniversary
Release date.
It's not the anniversary date. The anniversary date's in May, but it is the release date. So how many times are you gonna go see it, Debbie?
Oh, just once.
Only once?
Because they don't play it here in my rinky-dink small town, so we have to travel 45 minutes. So, but hey, I don't like driving either. And
you know what? On a good day in Dallas with no traffic, it might take you an hour to cross Dallas.
But if I have to drive in the dark, that's not good. I don't like driving in the dark. So, anyways, my son and I are going. My youngest son.
Awesome.
Because I said we are going, right? He goes, because we went and seen when Phantom Menace released last year.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. All right. I was going to say for the anniversary. I think Luke and I went to go see Empire on its anniversary. Actually, I think we've seen all of them on their anniversaries as they've popped up. Because we went and saw Phantom Menace last year too. Oh, geez. I'd have to go look at my ticket stubs. I don't know. I know we've been to the theater to see most of them. So, Cam, are you headed out to see Revenge of the Sith? Or are you just going to call it good and sit at home and watch TV? Watch it on TV.
I probably am going to see it just because, the last time that I watched, Revenge of the Sith in theaters was back when it was originally released in theaters. And so I don't know. I feel like if I don't, I'll be missing out on something. So I'll definitely be going to see it.
Awesome. Andrew, are you going? I know this movie released like long before you were born, but
yeah, actually the day before I was born, so I couldn't quite catch it opening weekend. But
I might have seen it in utero. I don't know.
It all depends on if my theater plays it. They had Phantom Menace last year, which kind of surprised me because they don't usually do these events. So if they have it, great. If not, I'm gonna have to drive 45 minutes.
No.
Jeez,
which is not. I mean, honestly, out here,
45 minutes to their local theater.
I mean, that's the thing. Everywhere out here is 30 minutes away, so it's like 45 minutes is that's nothing really. So I'm gonna try.
My theater is like 10 minutes away, and that's just because I'll hit traffic lights.
Mine's like 3 minutes. It's like right down the road. But like I said, I live in a very small community. And yeah, I'll keep my eye out. I mean, I hope they do. That way, I can come home, get Andy, and we'll just head to the theater.
You mean Andrew? You're going to take Andrew with you?
I wish.
Andrew?
No, my other Andrew.
Oh, it's because he's sick, isn't it? Okay, all right.
I'm not going to be sick in April.
I want your cooties.
That's right.
I mean, as a fellow medical worker, I understand that Debbie wants to keep as far away from Andrew as possible.
That's true.
I deal with babies, so yeah. If you're going to be around me, you will wear a mask. I will wear a mask.
Well,
go ahead.
a mask is being generous. I was thinking more of like a hamster ball, but you know.
Or a hazmat suit. That would be
Yeah.
fine.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's good.
All good ideas.
The other bit of news that we got, and they're still trying to determine if there's truth to this or not. And I'm still calling bull crap.
I sent you a TikTok
about the. I haven't watched. My
Yeah.
TikToks. Kathleen Kennedy.
I do my homework, so.
See, I saw Andrew's art. I've reversed my camera, so now I got to point the other way. Saw Andrew's article, the CNN article on nothing is confirmed.
Yes, it is.
Well,
Hold on.
no. The
I will
CNN
share
article
it
was from
with you.
the CNN article was from a few days ago, and then Debbie shared a video of a guy showing a Deadline article that Kathleen Kennedy herself said she's not going anywhere. She'll die making movies. So
awesome. Hang on, Debbie. I got you.
In fact, not retiring.
Kathleen Kennedy speaks on her Lucasfilm plans. She is not soon retiring, and that films that will keep her in Star Wars orbit for years to come. All you naysayers, suck it. Everything I saw online about, Kathleen Kennedy has announced that she's retiring at the end of the year, blah, blah, blah. Everybody was like, good, it's finally happening, and too late, she's already ruined Star Wars, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like,
I thought it was just hilarious because I was like, I am not believing anything until it's out of her mouth or Lucasfilm's mouth.
Well,
exactly.
Oh, Lordy. I'm sorry, Cam. No, we didn't lose him. I clicked the wrong button.
Oh, geez. I was going to say, what happened?
Nothing. You're fine.
What did you
do?
That's mine. That's my bad. I did that. But yes, that's what I've been saying. And she ruined Star Wars. I mean, seriously, come on. Really?
Well, but I mean, back in the days of the prequels, they were saying that George Lucas ruined Star Wars. So, I mean...
Exactly.
And back after the prequels were released, they were saying there's not going to be any more Star Wars. So, we're getting Star Wars, not as much as we're getting Marvel, but we are getting Star Wars. We've got movies coming out. We've got TV shows that have been, some of the TV shows,
they're hit and miss.
They're not the greatest things ever, but you know what? The Mandalorian has been very enjoyable for most people. Skeleton Crew was amazing. Andor was great, and we're getting another season of Andor coming up. What, about a month, give or take, month and a half, somewhere.
Ahsoka was decent.
Ahsoka was decent. It wasn't horrible. It was decent. We're getting stuff, and it's good. Now, if you're going to sit there and say, yeah, but the sequel trilogy, and it's like, okay, you're basing it off of one thing that you didn't like. So that does not ruin Star Wars for everybody else. That ruins Star Wars for you. And if you don't like it, then I'm going to make the reverse call and say, guess what? If you don't like it, you're not a fan because it is Star Wars. If you're going to sit there and call me not a fan because... I'm sorry?
I was going to say, that's like looking at a cake and saying that the entire cake is bad because you don't like the cherry on top.
No, you can avoid that cherry if you don't want it.
That makes the most sense.
What gets me is those people that sit there and say, oh, well, if you like the sequel trilogy, you're not a fan. If you like anything that Kathleen Kennedy's done, you're just not a fan. And it's like, I think you're not the fan because you don't like the stuff that's coming out. You only like one little time. That's not a fan. That's a
casual
buy. Yeah, that's a casual observer.
And the thing is, any major franchise, Marvel, Indiana Jones, Jurassic Park, all of them.
Oh yeah.
Some of them are fantastic, the movies, and then some of them are,
who approved this?
A little iffy. I mean, I enjoy them all, some more than others, but if there's something you don't like to watch, don't watch it, and then watch the stuff you do like. Like this, what we're talking about tonight. I have a
Did you
hard
forget-
time watching it.
Really?
Oh no.
I'm not a huge fan of this. There's certain storylines within that, Mace Windu, the Anakin Ventress, that stuff,
Casual observer.
Yeah, Debbie's not a true fan. She doesn't like it.
Hey, I was fast forwarding through a lot of it. I
Oh
was just like,
god, here we go.
Wow.
the guy, let me say this, it's not as bad as Resistance.
Whoa, even comparing it to that is a shock.
It had James
I
Arnold.
hate it. It's not.
I wonder if it's because when they released, they were shorts, and then now they're compiled into what, like 2 hour long episodes.
Yeah, because when
Yeah.
I went to watch it, I was like, "Oh, this is different." Yeah, the animation wasn't too bad. It was, I don't know, like whoever the voice actor was that did Anakin. Oh my god, I
was
just couldn't
horrible.
stand it. Yeah, nothing against the dude, but I didn't like it.
Yeah, well, when you go from Hayden Christensen in the prequels to whoever, I forget the name of that voice actor, but his very first line in the first season of that show was, "Master, I know you don't think I'm ready for a command of my own."
Yeah, I know.
It's like it's almost like a prepubescent kind of voice.
Cam, you almost had that voice, except it was drier and just completely more monotone than that. But you almost nailed it. Yeah, your pitch was right. So,
I put a lot of effort into my impersonation, so I'm glad to be recognized here.
Well, a lot of the other voice actors, though, of course, Obi-Wan is the same guy.
it's James
Yep.
Arnold Taylor.
Yeah, same guy. The guy who did Mace Windu, great. Yeah, it was just Anakin. I had a problem with. I was just like,
I think Tom Kane did Yoda, who I think
Mhm.
he
Let me
did.
see
He
who
also
did
did
voice
Yoda in the thing. There were quite a few of the actors that came from this one over to
yes,
what we now. This is, by the way, I think this is now considered Legends. This is not.
Yeah.
This is not canon. Since we have the
Mhm.
TV show, this is not canon. This is a more of a Legends thing. This came out in 2003, I believe, was the first set of them, and it came out strictly because
Cartoon Network.
well, it was for Cartoon Network, but it was taking place. Episode 3 had not released yet. Revenge of the Sith had not released, and we did not have it. And George had said, "When I'm done with episode 3, I'm done. I'm done with it because everybody hates the prequels and everybody is yelling and screaming at me. So I'm just going to be done with it." And so it was like, okay, well, we're going to make this so we can kind of fill in the gap of between 2 and 3. We're going to show the Clone Wars. It was just a micro series. I mean, it was like literally like a 10 to 15 minute spot that they showed in between shows on Cartoon Network. There was
Not even. Well, at first it was like 5 minutes per episode.
and this is also the days before. I mean, DVRs were still kind of in their infancy at this point. We had a TiVo, so which was kind of sort of the first recording situation that you could do over online. So it was like, okay, hit the record button or select it and set it to record kind of thing. So unless you caught the episodes, you had to catch them on reruns later on. And they were playing them all the time. I mean, it wasn't like, oh my gosh, I missed the one and I'm never going to get to see it again. All the time they were on. So anytime there was a break in a show, Ando's online. Hey, Ando.
Hey.
So it was always, you could always see it. It wasn't like you're missing anything. I remember right before episode 3 came out, or right after, I don't remember. It was right around the time of the episode. They released all of it on DVD, and I bought the DVDs just because it was like, oh, here it is. It's the DVDs, and now I've got the Clone Wars, and I can watch everything all in timeline order. And then, of course, in 2008, they actually released what we all know and love is the Clone Wars, and this became Legends. One of the big things that they did not do with this one, or that they did do with this one that they did not do with the other one, was they killed Ventress in this one.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
it was
quote,
like at the end of the
unquote,
first
killed.
season too. I'm sorry.
I said quote unquote killed. We didn't see a body.
Yeah, but if they're going off the whole thing of she disappears when she dies, like she becomes one with the Force, why not? Why not? So, and plus it's Cartoon Network. You really going to show a body?
Yeah.
I mean, it's. Did they ever show body? So this was done by Tartakovsky. He's the guy that did the Samurai Jack cartoon shows. Did they ever show? I never watched Samurai Jack, but did they ever show bodies on Samurai Jack when he killed people?
I think that I think it was kind of obscured whenever it happened, but when people were killed, you knew they were killed.
Yeah, same here. I'm gonna go with it. Ventress died in this one. I'll call it good. But yeah, I agree with you, Debbie. Some of the stories were just really good. I did enjoy the Mace one, where he was. There wasn't a whole lot of talking in that one. It was basically just him
Wiping out people.
wiping out battle droids, super battle
just being
droids.
a one-man army.
That was awesome. And,
Well, it was. I laughed when that whole thing was done and over with, and then he leaps up on the hill to the little kid, and the kid gave him a drink, and it just reminded me of the old. I don't know if it was Pepsi or Coca-Cola. Mean Gene or
Mean Joe Green, the Mean Joe Green commercial.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I watched that, and I was like, that's what it reminded me of. I was like, oh, flashback. But another part of the animation was that when they showed, well, like the little boy and then Padme, they were for me, and I don't know much about this, but they looked anime.
Oh.
You know, the big round eyes, and I was just like, two totally different styles, and I didn't like it. I was just not a fan. And some of it was cringy when her and Anakin was kissing.
Well, that speaking of that scene, there was that one scene, and it was in that scene too. You talk about cringy when because she was sneaking around and he was walking and she was sneaking around behind him, and he ducks into the alley and she ducks in with him, and they start making out and all this other stuff, and then here comes 3PO, and he almost has a Force Awakens moment where he goes, "Oh, you probably didn't recognize me because of I've got the new gold coverings," and he takes it off, and he's almost like,
well, and the music was a little, you know, it's like what the hell did I just watch?
Is C-3PO a stripper now? What is going on?
A bit of a fun fact: the voice actress who plays Padme in this series, her name's Grey DeLisle. She also voiced Padme in the Phantom Menace video game.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Well, there you go. Awesome. I will say this too. This is a great one because we didn't have any Ahsoka in this one. There was no
because there was no Filoni.
There was no Sky Guy. There was no R2E. There was no
Snips,
no cringy.
For which I'm very thankful.
Yes. I liked the way one of the things when they actually made Anakin a Jedi, and they brought him in and they did the whole thing, and at the end Yoda cuts off his little pigtail, and he of course sends it to Padme, who in turn gives him R2. Padme puts it in a little box with the Chapor snippet from episode 1, little mementos of Anakin that he gave her, and then she gives him R2, and I liked that. I don't care what anybody says. I enjoyed that. So
Yeah, I mean the series does have some good moments
Mhm.
in the second season, especially because that one definitely felt like a lot more of a cohesive actual story.
yeah. The first one was more, we're just going to do these little snippets of, there wasn't really any kind of direction they were going. It was more just here's a battle that happened. Have
Yeah.
fun with it. And here's another one that happened. And this was cool.
Well, yeah,
But
it's like that one section with Kit Fisto that just completely comes out of nowhere and then it's
yeah,
gone.
Yeah.
like you didn't like it? I thought it was good. The whole underwater thing and the Quarren versus the Moncows.
Now that reminded me of there was a story arc in the Clone Wars. I mean, it wasn't necessarily Kit, but it was the battle between the Calamari Prince and the Quarrens, and
Well, and see, I like that they do that because in Star Wars lore, those two are like in old legends lore. They are rivals. I mean, they live on the same planet, but they're rivals. It's like the Wookiees and the I can't even think now. What's Bosk? What is he? Trandoshan. It's like the Wookiees and the Trandoshians. They're
Naboo's and the
the Naboos and the Gungans. They're just kind of at each other's throat all the time. So I like that they said, okay, we're going to use some of this stuff from Legends. We're just going to bring the legends to life, if you will. So
now my question, and I couldn't figure it out. Why the hell were they using jousting poles?
why not?
I just thought that was just so odd. I was like,
They're aliens.
What?
You don't know their life.
I was just like, when have we ever used jousting poles in Star Wars? When did this happen?
And not
It's
only
retconning the
did it
prequels.
happen, not only did it happen, it happened twice in this series.
And funny enough, there was, and I'm gonna throw this out there because I can. They made a Lego set that was Anakin's modified Jedi Starfighter, and it's the one that has the 2 engines on the front and then the 2 engines in the back as well. But there was also a Lego set that came out, and it was like it was an IG battle pack, so it was like 4 IG battle droids, but it came with a speeder, and they were all like black IG droids, and I think one of them actually had a jousting pole. So I was like, oh, this is kind of a throwback to the Clone Wars. So the Clone Wars TV show at the time, but that was a long time ago. But again, I thought it was.
It just threw me off. Well, at first I thought they were like the I forget what they're called. The poles that the Grievous's minions use.
I know what you're talking about now. I can't.
The electro staffs or whatever. But then I got to looking at it. I was like, well, it don't. There's no electric. There's no lightsaber. There's nothing. I was like, why are they using a jousting pole? It just totally threw me off. I was like, okay.
Well, you never know. Maybe they're Beskar jousting poles.
Maybe.
It was just weird. Threw me off.
That character, the guy who was leading those guys, I can't remember his name for the life of me. The one where Obi-Wan cut him into pieces and then he kind of
Dirge.
The Dirge, thank you. The Dirge. They actually brought him into canon just recently in the comic books. So he has made an appearance in the comic books in the comics, but he's between Empire and Jedi is where he falls versus in the Clone Wars. So just a cool little tidbit about that one. Again, something moved over from Legends into canon, even though it was in comic book form. What else did we have on this one that I really liked?
Well, we had the Dooku meeting Ventress for the first time.
Yes.
And that, you know, she comes in as almost like a pit fighter.
Mm-hmm. Gladiator style.
I like that. I loved that he was like, "You do very well. You conceal yourself," and then it backs up, and she was with him the whole time, just disguised and blah blah blah. And then she says, "Oh, I am Sith. Oh, you're not Sith."
Yeah, there's a little bit of dialogue there that I always found really really cheesy, but then I have to stop and remember, oh, you know, it's a kids show. It's whenever she declares herself a Sith, and Dooku says, "Sith have no fear," and I'm like, oh, that's a little on the nose there, bud.
God, I had another one. You just made me lose it.
Aw.
The Sith one. Oh, the ARC troopers loved that one where they're taking out the cannon that was in the city,
Yeah.
and the gunship goes and just drops them, and just them moving through the city and scaling the walls. And oh god, I loved that. I was like, that's kind of what got me hooked on this one initially when it was first on TV. I was like, man, that's awesome. I was not a big fan of the Samurai Jack thing because of like Debbie, because of the animation. I just was not a huge fan of the animation style, but watching the ARC troopers move around like that and do what I was like, oh, this is just cool. This is
no dialogue at all.
Yeah, no, you don't
it was
need
all
it.
just hand signals.
Yeah, that drove me nuts.
Why? You don't
drove me nuts.
Oh my god.
She's
Debbie.
like, I don't understand military signs. Like,
well, no, I mean, I watch a lot of war movies, so I understand, you know, they have to do signals and that, but it's just like, okay, they have the comms. Why aren't they using comms?
They're observing radio silent, Debbie.
Yeah, I mean, their helmets aren't airtight.
I didn't like it. It was way too much.
She was like, what are they talking about? The hand signal. I only know the Air Force ones.
No,
somebody quick, turn on subtitles for hand signals.
But I was just like, man, those were some of the parts I was fast forwarding through. I was like, come on.
Debbie was probably looking at it going, well, I don't really even need captions for this one, do I?
No.
We got Cam.
Sorry.
Oh, never mind. Oh, well.
I was moving my phone around and tapped the video button.
Oh.
I'm glad the lights not on, because
here I am. Oh wait, no, that's reversed. Nope. Here I am.
Oh, look at what Cam's watching.
Cam's watching cartoons.
Yeah, it's Howl's Moving Castle.
I was about to say that looked like Studio Ghibli.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You don't even have his full and undivided attention.
Yeah, I like that. I don't care what you say. I like the ARC troopers. Debbie. What about?
Oh, that's fine. I mean, I'm not saying nothing against you. I'm just saying me personally.
We're watching these again. We're going to do this again. We'll make Debbie watch all of it instead of fast forwarding.
No fast forwarding.
In fact, that'll be a show. Is we'll just live broadcast and watch it live.
Well, the reason I was fast forwarding through a lot of it was because when I came home from work, I was eating dinner and I was like, well, I'm going to watch Survivor because that premiered the other night, or last night it premiered. And so I was watching it, and then I thought, okay, I'll go watch Clone Wars. And I guess I didn't, because I was thinking, each episode was like, I don't know, 4 or 5 minutes, and I didn't really.
You're thinking, oh, it's only going to be like 20 minutes, 20 or 30 minutes.
Well, I didn't know how many episodes there were. And so when I clicked on it and it said season 1, hour and a half, season 2, hour and a half, I was like, oh, shit. I'm screwed.
What about now? Speaking of that, what about the end of season 2, where it's and not necessarily? I will get into the Anakin Obi-Wan thing, but the Coruscant, the invasion of Coruscant, everything building up basically to episode 3 to Revenge of the Sith.
I mean, it basically ended the last scene, you see Coruscant and all the ships on. I mean, I was like, well, that goes right into Revenge
It was
of the
beautiful.
Sith.
It was great,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then how Grievous kidnapped the Chancellor and everything. He got Palpatine.
And Grievous was actually kind of scary in that.
Yeah. It was,
and I
different
liked how
voice.
we've seen how he gets his, you
his
know,
call.
yeah.
And again, something I cannot figure out about the Jedi is, they're fighting these guys, and the first thing they do is go to their lightsabers, and I'm like, Mace just crushed that guy's chest with the Force. Do that with all of them. You don't even have to touch these guys. You can just smush them.
Now, Dave, that requires common sense.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Well, a lot of the things that the Jedi were doing in this show, I was just like,
yeah, it was Force Unleashed all over again, is what it was.
That's what my son said. He goes, "Did you ever watch any of the Force Unleashed snippets?" Because I don't video game.
You don't play the video game, yeah.
But I was like, "Yeah, I've seen them, on YouTube or whatever." And he goes, "Yeah, that's kind of what these guys are like." I was like,
they didn't need the clones; they just send the Jedi in to.
And they didn't even need their lightsabers, for Pete's sake.
You see Grievous stealing those lightsabers, and I was like, I'll take care of it without the lightsaber. It's fine. Not a big deal.
I always got a little bit of a chuckle whenever you have the invasion of Coruscant happening, and everybody's in that elevator that's going down, and then Grievous is running down the building, and they all see him there. They all see that he is about to attack, and it's like a 7 or 8 second sequence of that one clone just like loading his rocket launcher and then firing it in the elevator.
What about the when we first get to Grievous and you've got all the Jedi? There's like a group of 4 or 5 of them, and they're all hiding. And God help me, that looked like Shaggy.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say. Jedi Shaggy.
Jedi Shaggy.
His name, that character's name is actually Shaggy.
Oh my God.
It's like SHAA apostrophe GI.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I laughed out loud when he popped up. I was like, what the hell? How did Shaggy become a Jedi? God.
It was hilarious.
Oh, hilarious.
I didn't know his name. That was a new one on me. So thank you for making my day.
Oh, no problem.
Then he got smooshed.
Yeah. And Grievous, I know he used all the lightsabers and everything, but again, he was a lot more intimidating. And I guess you can get away with more stuff like that because you're dealing with an animated versus a computer animated CGI character. You can pull off more cool Michael Bay stuff than all that kind of stuff. But yeah, again, we're introduced to Grievous. It's great. What about Anakin? And let's talk about Anakin and Obi-Wan's little arc then, with they're on the snow planet with the
dog people.
They're on the Avatar planet with the short avatars.
Yeah, fast forward through a lot of that.
Oh, come on. Debbie, did you even watch it?
Yeah.
I'm disgusting, aren't I not?
You could have just watched a video essay and just pulled the
Now, I can drag my son in here and he will tell you I was watching it.
Yeah, you were watching it with your eyes closed.
Sure. Yeah, you know what? You told your son, you better say I watched it or you're kicked out.
No, I was watching it.
The vision, I loved the vision. Because again, we got where it's him and he's got the ghost arm and it wipes out his enemies and then it kind of overpowers him and becomes stronger and stronger. And then, of course, it flashes to him as we get the Darth Vader flash, which was...
Yeah, that was definitely a nice little bit of Well, I don't know. Would you call it foreshadowing if you already know what's going to happen?
Yeah, sure, why not?
And I will say, you know, as flat as the voice actor for Anakin was, the moment whenever he is I don't know what that crystal thing was for, but when he crushes the crystal and he screams when his arm explodes, that was like, oh wow, he actually can, you know, commit to a good voice.
Yes, we talked about Kathleen Kennedy already.
And she's not.
And she's not. All the naysayers.
No, I heard from an inside source who knows an inside source that she's retiring tomorrow.
Mike Zero said it was tomorrow. Mike Zero and Doomcock said it was 2 weeks ago, actually.
Actually, they've been saying it for the last 10 years.
Longer than that. They've been saying it since probably since like not 2012. Probably since The Force Awakens came out. Yeah, so I guess it has been. Jesus, has it been 10 years on The Force Awakens already this year too?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, we are old.
Time
That was half
flies.
my life ago. Yikes.
Jeez. It's horrible.
Can you feel your kneecaps grinding yet?
No, but I did. I was sitting at the office today, and I was at my computer, and I got done, and I went, did one of these, and I just heard crack. And I was, oh,
Like Mr. Incredible getting pulled.
yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not anytime soon. We had it on the screen. See what happens when you don't start watching the show from the beginning.
Way to go, avocado.
Get off
I
your
feel
phone.
you, avocado.
And
When I
watch
joined
that
late,
show.
I feel you, avocado. Whenever I join late, and I always say, "Did y'all talk about this?" Yes.
Yep. Been there, done that. Got the T-shirt. But again, with the Avatar things, and he brings back all the males, and they're all like bulky,
Deformed.
Hulks.
and then you've got the one kid that comes out, and
Of course, because
that makes everybody happy.
but it wouldn't be a story about about ugly people if there wasn't a child who came up and said, "I accept you for who you are."
It's what it reminded me of, that scene in Hook where they said, "Oh, this is Peter Pan." No, that's not Peter Pan. He's just a crinkled old white man. And then they've got the one little kid that goes up and like is feeling his face.
There
goes,
you are,
little,
Peter.
There you are. It's like, oh, and then all of a sudden everybody's like, "Oh, I see it now. Oh, there's Peter. Oh." The Peter Pan envy. But anyway, again, this is a fun little romp. I'm glad that they did this because they were threatening not to do any more Star Wars, and at least we got something in between episodes 2 and 3. And of course, before Filoni gave us the masterpiece that we all know and love. So, was there anything that was brought from this? Did Filoni bring anything over other than the characters?
I don't.
Not that I'm immediately aware of.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's our take overall. And Debbie, I know your opinion, so I'll let you go last. Overall, Andrew, what is your take on this?
I like it a lot. It's a fun, short little, get it out in less than an afternoon. So it's not.
This is something to burn a Saturday afternoon. It's raining outside. Yeah. There's nothing to do.
It's a fun little. If you want to call yourself a super fan, you watch this. And so I'm just kidding. I'd probably give it like a 8 out of 10, probably 8.5, maybe.
Okay. Cam?
Well, I mean, this series was, a huge part of my, childhood, especially when it came to kind of forming my love for Star Wars as a whole because this series started back when I was, I think, 12 years old. No, 10, like 10 or 11 years old. I forget exactly when, but
It was 2003 was when it started.
okay, so I was probably 11 at the time, and I loved it. I mean, it hasn't aged super well since then, especially with all the new lore and everything that's come out now. I kind of watch it and I'm like, oh well, that doesn't quite match up, and that doesn't quite match up. But I mean, overall, like Andrew said, it's a good experience if you're just trying to kill some time in an afternoon and want to put something on that's of decent quality. And the Anakin and Ventress duel at the end of the first season, I think, is probably the highlight of the entire thing. But
this did something that they didn't do again until, and again, it harkens back to that duel between Ventress and Anakin that they didn't do again until the Force Awakens, and that is when they've got the lightsabers on and you've got the raindrops hitting it and the steam coming off of it and all that other stuff. It adds that note of realism for me. So
it really does.
Those are really there.
That's
yeah. So I don't know that I'm going to be quite as generous as Andrew was. I don't think that it's anything too spectacular. I'm more along like the 7 out of 10 area.
Now, all right, Debbie, destroy us.
2 out of 10.
No. I would give it probably a 6, because there were elements I did like about it, and I know I compared it to Resistance earlier, but I mean I really hated Resistance. There was no deeming qualities about Resistance, and there was no purpose to Resistance. Whereas this one,
tell us how you really feel about Resistance.
If I could give a Resistance a -20, I would.
Three words: waste of time.
But I watched it because it was Star Wars. But yeah, I definitely rate this about a 6. There was stuff I liked. There was stuff I didn't care for.
All 5 minutes that you watched of it.
Fast forwarding.
I watched a lot of it.
Debbie
watched it at 5 times speed.
Yeah, I was gonna say
No,
I'm telling you, she found a video essay.
A little box as it was going by. I was like, oh, gotta watch that.
Here's what she did. She found a 2-hour video essay breaking down everything just so she didn't have to,
She was wondering why all the voices sounded bad. She was like, all the voices were way off. It's because you were watching it at 5 times speed, Debbie. No wonder they sounded like Alvin and the Chipmunks.
No, like I said, Anakin's voice was the only one that was really cringy. Everybody else was fine. Yeah, it had redeeming qualities. There was stuff I liked. Like I said earlier, the Anakin Ventress, the Mace Windu scenes, and of course him crushing Grievous's chest, and now we know why he coughs. But yeah, there was stuff I liked in it. There was stuff I didn't like in it. But it was way more better than Resistance.
I enjoyed it.
Very high bar there.
I on second viewing, I say second viewing, on a more recent viewing, because I do try to watch this every once in a while, just because I like it. I'm with you. This is very nostalgic to me. I was not quite as young as you when I first saw it, but again, I did watch it as it came out. But again, on another viewing, I mean, there were certain things. Debbie, you mentioned Anakin being cringy. There was one scene, and I'm just now remembering this because you said cringy, and there was one. It was the character. It was right after Anakin was knighted, and there was the separatist he wasn't a general, he was a separatist leader, and he said, man, nobody's going to break into this fortress. They're probably going to need like 50 or maybe even, it sounded like Bobcat Goldthwait, honestly. They're going to need like 50 or maybe even 100 Jedi to break into here. How many did they? Oh, look here. And then you got the droid. Oh, the Jedi are coming. Oh, really? How many they got? 2. 200? No, 2. 2? What? It's like,
kind of
it was
that
silly.
character.
I mean,
that character reminded me, and again, I'm going way back. It kind of reminded me of George Jefferson.
Yeah,
because that's who I thought of as soon as he started talking. I was just like, why does he remind me of George Jefferson? Yeah, that was weird.
it was weird, but in the same token, I'm gonna say at this point, it's funny, and it's haha. So I don't know. I give it a 7, just again because of the nostalgia thing. It's like to me, it's like the Robot Chicken Star Wars episodes. You know,
That's great.
they're really dumb, and some of them are just really corny, but they're funny. They've got their moments. And if you didn't know,
flowers for Padme.
yeah. And again, if you didn't know, Robot Chicken did do 3 Star Wars specials, basically about the same time that the Family Guy released their specials. But it was 3 different Star Wars specials, and again, they recycled some of the stuff that was already in some of the shows. But I mean, there was new stuff in there too. So it was just you watch those, and I watch those every. I'm building Legos back there. I may turn those on again tonight after this show and watch a few of those just because they're hilarious. I mean, just some of the.
I gotta say, Boba, this is one beauty of a ship. Not crazy about the name, though.
Mr. Feet? Mr. Bob A. Feet?
Sure, whatever.
Mr. Feet, Mr. Bob A. Feet.
You mean to tell me you've been naked this whole time?
It's just, see, like I said, I honestly think I'm gonna go back and watch the Robot Chicken Star Wars specials again. Hang on, I think this is one too. Hang on. Nope, that wasn't one. Never mind.
That was Rogue One.
Yeah, that was Rogue One. I've got another one on here somewhere. I can't find it though. But anyway, all right. Anything else for this episode, Debbie? Did we miss anything that you do not want to talk about?
She wrote 12 pages front and back.
12 pages of notes on this one.
Yeah,
she was like, so why were they doing this? Because
why was who, what, when, why?
Yeah, I did not take any notes on this one.
All right then. Shameless plugs. What do we got for tonight?
Are we going to do fan question?
Fan questions. We got fan questions. Let's do fan questions. Go for it, Andy.
Right.
What do we got?
So our first of 2 comes from John Ambrose. His says, in the middle of catching up on Skeleton Crew, I'm really digging it. It's got a Goonies meets Star Wars vibe, but I just heard that it's not going to be renewed, so now I kind of stopped caring. Has the Star Wars franchise finally lost its luster? It's sad to see such a giant part of my childhood fall from its legendary status and become mortal.
I think we discussed that a lot at the first. And then also, too, I mean, I haven't heard that they're not getting a second season. Mm-hmm. So
there's been a lot of talks about a potential season 2, so it hasn't been canceled.
It hasn't been canceled, but it hasn't been approved. So to me, you can't sit there and say, "Oh, they're not getting a second season." Well, just because they're not talking about it doesn't mean that it's not going to happen.
We'll see if there's any kind of announcement at Celebration in April.
Oh, that's right. We got Celebration coming up too. We may have to do a show on that. Yeah, it's again, until I hear something. It's like the Kathleen Kennedy thing. Until I hear something concrete, something permanent, I take everything with a grain of salt.
Mhm.
And if you're enjoying it, great. Watch it over again. Watch
Or
it again
finish
and
it.
again. Yeah, go finish it. It's awesome. It ends well. It's not like it starts off good. I mean, the episodes just get better. I think when we talked about that show on
Yeah.
this show, every week it was like, oh my gosh, they're just getting better and better and better. Go watch it. Finish watching.
It was like, this is my favorite episode. Then the next week, this is my favorite
No,
episode.
that's my new favorite episode. And there wasn't any flashback episode. Sorry, Andrew. Got to call you out on that one.
Oh, I'm so glad I didn't make a bet on that one because yikes.
It allows big time.
So, and no, I don't think Star Wars has lost its luster. There's hit and miss
A lot
stuff.
of great stuff.
A lot of good stuff that has come out. There's some bad stuff that's come out.
Andor's coming season 2.
Yeah, Andor season 2. You had 3 seasons of The Mandalorian plus a movie plus a spinoff, 2 spinoffs, Book of Boba Fett and Ahsoka. You can't tell me that it's lost its luster. Now, Book of Boba Fett was a little.
Sorry, Bob A. Feet. The book
Bob
of
A.
Bob A.
Feet, yeah. But
Like I
but
said
Ahsoka was
earlier,
decent.
it's hit and miss.
So
Every franchise has a hit and miss.
Different creative control, different our input. I mean,
Bryce Dallas Howard is an amazing director and directs amazing Star Wars
Get
stuff.
her to do Solo too. Come on, guys.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Anyway, all right. What's the next one?
All right. So next one is from Scarab Scuttlebutt Podcast.
Okay.
He says, with shows like Skeleton Crew and the new season of Andor, I've heard the argument that these shows don't feel like Star Wars. Question for the panel. Do you agree, or better yet, what does it mean for you to have a show or series feel like Star Wars?
Well, it's kind of hard to really determine what feels like Star Wars without bringing up, what it's most known for, which are lightsabers, the Force, and John Williams' score. So when you don't have those things, then I mean, it's kind of inevitable that it's going to feel a little removed from the rest of the continuity. But I mean, when you go into it with the mentality of, this is a big galaxy with trillions of people in it who all have their own stories. I mean, not every story is going to come across Luke Skywalker.
Not every story is going to have Jedi in it either. There are going to be some stories that are grounded.
If the morals of the story are the same, then that for me kind of feels like Star Wars a little bit, like Andor. That doesn't have any Jedi or lightsaber. It's a very grounded HBO like show, but it's got the same morals that of A New Hope.
I mean, even Rogue One to a certain extent was a lot like, there was no Jedi in that. Now they were mentioned and they were alluded to. You knew that it was there, and it was something that helped kind of bring it into the galaxy. And especially you had the one line that was Chirrut that was talking to Andor, and he says, and Andor says something along, sometimes I don't think the Force and I have the same goals or the same outlook or whatever. And then you've got Chirrut, who's not a Force user, no Jedi here, just this crazy fool who likes to pretend.
I mean, Rogue One is awesome. I know some people disagree with that, but
it's awesome.
Brilliant.
I'm not really a huge fan of it either. So,
yeah, well,
you don't have to
who are you
on,
so.
But yeah, I mean, we didn't get a lightsaber till the very end of it.
Yeah. Yeah. What are you gonna do?
Great movie, yeah. Despite what Kim says.
It's not bad. It's just not my favorite.
I know. I'm just jiving with you.
It's my favorite of the Disney era movies. So, all right. Shameless plugs. What do we got tonight?
I'll be on the Geek and I podcast YouTube channel tomorrow night for the original series Star Trek. Saturday we have the Geek Gauntlet. Cam, I'll let you take Sunday.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm up now. Okay.
You're right. Go for it.
Yeah, so this coming Sunday is going to be the next episode of Cam and Focus Weekly. This past Sunday we discussed. Oh God, I'm having a brain fart. What did we discuss?
The
Dave?
Musicals.
The musicals.
No, this past Sunday we discussed
the Black Cauldron.
The Black Cauldron.
The Black Cauldron. Oh, good God.
How quickly they forget.
Yes, well, I'm sorry. I had a bit to drink tonight. So yes, this coming Sunday we're discussing musicals. So it's not going to be any one movie in particular. It's going to be musicals, specifically what movies should or should not have been remade into musicals, because there have been more than you think that have been remade into musicals. And also what movies just on their own work as musicals and which ones don't. So it's kind of a broad topic, but I think that we can get a really good discussion going for that one. So that's going to be on Sunday at 9:00 Eastern Standard Time over on my Cam and Focus channel.
We had a good discussion about that, Andrew. You missed it.
I was sick.
Andrew was out sick.
I had no voice.
My guess is he didn't watch the Black Cauldron and he was embarrassed.
No, I was going to, but I literally had no energy.
All right, Debbie, what else?
So then Monday, we are back for MCU Monday, discussing season 3 of Daredevil, the last 2 episodes.
Almost done.
Almost done.
Watch the episodes, Andrew. It's the last 2.
Yeah.
All right.
And then Tuesday, I'll be over on the Sith Dominion channel. I'm not quite sure what we are talking about, but we had just finished the Mortis arc, Clone Wars. And then Wednesday, we have War of the Stars. They just dropped an episode. And then we'll be back Thursday discussing something Star Wars. Something.
Or something related to Star Wars. We did Spaceballs last week. It's not quite Star Wars, but it sure was fun. We should have just quoted the whole movie. That's all we should have done. Just sat back and quoted everything. Would have been awesome. Andrew, do we have anything Snackame-wise coming up, or do you know?
Not to my knowledge, no.
Okay.
Probably not till next month.
Oh, okay. All right.
I think it's monthly.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Awesome.
But we also have those shorts that come out with Ando, the video game rankings, and then Janae does do anime recommendations weekly.
And where do we get to see those?
YouTube, Instagram, Facebook.
We have YouTube.
Also this week in Star Trek. It's also another thing that we have come out. You didn't know that?
That's new to me.
Jonathan from Captain's Logs and Lightsabers. He had a week or two gap, but he's been doing weekly this week in Star Trek. So just like a little short. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. We have all those shorts come out. So,
and we get to see all of those on our social media pages.
Yeah, but wait, there's more. By hitting follow, we will give you 2 additional shorts every week, plus shipping and handling.
Where do we get to go? Where do we find these wonderful shorts?
Just look up Feast of Fandoms.
Feast of Fandoms on all the social media outlets?
You got it.
Facebook and Instagram? Come on, Debbie, get in with it.
And YouTube.
It's fun.
Yeah, I have a migraine coming on. Just It's like, what are we doing?
We're being silly and plugging it.
Plus the sexy off Power Rangers tournament that's been going on for a while now.
Yeah.
Feels like years. I didn't know there was that many Power
I didn't
Rangers.
know there was that many Power Rangers either. It's
Yeah.
like, geez,
Well,
where
we're
are
also in
they coming
round
up with these
3
things?
now, so
Round 32 rounds already?
no, I so we're in round 3 as well.
All right,
Is a
fine.
better way to put it.
Okay, fine. All right. Well, that's going to be it for us tonight. Y'all all have a great, great rest of your week. Tomorrow's Friday. Have an awesome, awesome weekend. We will see all of you next week right here on the Cantina Happy Hour. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Hit the bell icon for notifications. Y'all all have a great weekend. We will see all of you next week on Cantina Happy Hour. May the force be with you all.
I don't like sand. It's coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere.
Pocket sand. Yeah.